All right, so moving on to our next story, we are talking about the Aladdin trailer. The newest one that came out. I linked it in the chat down below. If you're watching this on a YouTube channel, then you'll have it in the description box down below. And Tristan, I thought this was a good trailer. Like, I don't know why Disney didn't just show up at just with this trailer in front of my house. Like, they sat back and they were like, "Oh, let's release something 30 seconds that's piece." I don't know if it was a Super Bowl trailer or not, but they were like, "Let's do a special look and let's try to be like, social media savvy, and everyone will be blowing up about this because they get to see Will Smith as the blue genie, and they're gonna be like, whoa, this is so cool." And then everyone uncanny valleyed the fuck up, and they were just like, "This is an abomination. Do not do this." They were like, "No, please, no." And some people may have done it because it's not Robin Williams, but I disagree because I love Robin Williams. But I think Will Smith, from the looks of these two trailers, is going to do a great job in the role.
Oh yeah.
It's just that he does not look good in motion like that because it's just not human with somewhat human proportions. Like when he was that giant genie with the big, like the bust and everything.
Yeah.
That was that to me. I was like, okay, that seems quote unquote real because my eyes have never seen something like that.
Right,
but when you see like a humanoid type person walking around and they're blue like that, you're like, no, that doesn't register. So I'm actually happy that maybe they did it to save money, but I'm actually happy that Will Smith is walking around in normal attire, if you will, trying to blend in with everyone.
Right. Yeah.
I'm actually really excited about that because I think I would prefer that than seeing him again looking like a human, like us, blue.
Yeah.
Because that's just me, right? Because looking at the trailer, I think he was funny. I think their chemistry, him and Aladdin's chemistry worked really. They were really well together.
Yeah.
I loved, even though I know it was trying to tug at my nostalgia heartstrings, so I tried not to try to fight against it. I loved the rendition of A Whole New World.
A Whole New World, right? Yeah.
I love that.
Both,
and Friend Like Me,
singing it. Yeah.
Yeah, Friend Like Me also worked pretty well. Because you can put a different spin on it because Will Smith is doing it.
Right. Abu even looks pretty damn good.
Oh yes, of course, yes, the monkey, the tiny monkey. I thought you were talking about Jafar for a second. I'm like, what? No, that's Jafar. Because we also saw Jafar as well.
Right.
We saw him from behind, and then we saw him telling Aladdin, like, "Hey, if you do this, I'll get you a lot of money."
Right. Yeah. So maybe it was just me, and like, no offense to the actor or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But does his voice just seem a little too high? Like maybe that was just me. Like I'm thinking of old Jafar, so I hear this, and I'm like, oh, that was an interesting choice.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think the thing is perhaps not that he's not a bad guy, but maybe they wanted to just take away from him trying to be this like big booming kind of like voice type bad guy. I mean, you know what it is too? It's the difference between like live action animation, where when we look at, let's say, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? So in the Ninja Turtles cartoon, the original '80s one, they had the voice of Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I want to make sure I get the actor's name right. He actually ended up being the voice of Shredder.
Right.
So James Avery. Okay, James Avery was the voice of Shredder. And so, his voice was, very much like, "These damn turtles are coming in here and turtling the place up." And it was just like, oh God, my voice. Okay, I'm fine. I had some water. That's why I don't do that voice.
You had a drink like me.
Boo doo boo boo boo. But the point is, Tristan, is that so he did that, right? And but then in the live action version, at least I don't remember. Yeah, the second movie didn't do this, but the first movie they didn't bring him in. They actually brought in a Japanese man to be Shredder. So I don't remember if he spoke much English. Because I don't remember if he spoke much English, because Shredder, actually he did, but Shredder was very reserved in that film. The point is, Tristan, though, is that when you go for the live action version, it's just because you're so ingrained in like, oh, this is the voice.
Yeah,
the guy that voiced over Jafar is not Middle Eastern. He's a white dude.
Right.
I'm pretty sure. Now, what's interesting about the guy that voiced Jafar, though, and why I really respect him, when they did a live, not the Broadway version, I believe, but when they did a live version of like a play, a musical for Aladdin. He was the role of Jafar.
Right.
So it's actually super interesting that he came back to be Jafar, even in live action form.
No, and like that's a good thing too.
Jonathan Freeman, I believe, is. Oh, actually, oh wow. Okay, so I should clarify. Jonathan Freeman was Jafar in Aladdin, obviously. He was also Jafar in Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
And in the 2011 Aladdin Broadway musical. So when they first brought it, I assume he's not the voice of Jafar now in that.
Right.
But still, that's crazy. Also, he was in the second Aladdin movie, The Return of Jafar, or as we like to call it, what? There was the second one? I remember Aladdin and King of Thieves. Return of Jafar existed.
Yeah.
That's what I like to call it.
You're not wrong. I feel the same way. And I feel bad because I'm like, I liked Aladdin when I was a kid. I mean, I still like it now. But like, my mind almost always goes to like the third movie.
Well, because the problem is the second movie was made with the TV show budget. So it looked like an episode of the TV show, and they just included certain songs that, personally, I just was not interested in.
Right.
And then when I saw King of Thieves, they still had songs, but they kind of went back to that kind of movie budget. And I'm pretty sure they even brought back Robin Williams for the third movie. Because in the second movie, it was Dan Castellaneta, who is the voice of Homer Simpson, who also played Genie in Kingdom Hearts. All of them. So Dan Castellaneta reprised his role as Genie after being in the TV show as Genie and the second movie as Genie in Kingdom Hearts. How funny is that, right? Anyway, a lot of interesting stuff like that happens in voice acting, but still getting back to this trailer, I don't know. I think you could argue they've shown the best bits, perhaps, but I think this is the trailer they should have came out with from the get-go, not give us that 30-second tease to get us talking, because not all talking is good talking. Like sometimes you just don't try to tease me with something like, ooh, you're gonna really enjoy this. No, just show me the whole thing.
Right.
Show me the whole trailer.
No, I agree. I think they should have went with this trailer as the first one as well, because this trailer I looked at, I'm like, you know what? That actually looks pretty good.
Because my thing is this, right? This is a bit different than something like Avengers Endgame, where we know nothing about what's going on with Endgame. This is clearly not taking the same comic book arc, the Infinity War arc, and adapting that. Clearly, it's its own thing, so don't show me a lot. And I feel like, other than a few things, they have not shown me a lot, right? When it comes to Disney's Aladdin, well, I'm sure there's clearly just from the trailer, it looks like there are some things that are going to be different. But it is still Disney's Aladdin. I know the beginning, the middle, and the end. So show me something that's going to make me want to see it, rather than, hey, you like Will Smith in the role. It's like, I do, but there are still some people that aren't accepting him. Well, let's make him blue. We knew he was going to be blue, but my God, this is not looking good. Like, I feel like someone at Disney was just like, oh God, we have to... Like, they either cut this trailer out of nowhere or they put this one out real quick. Because it feels... Because there was not... it wasn't just Tristan and I. Tristan, you saw the people making memes.
Oh, yeah.
And just... And not even like, oh, this is funny, haha memes. Kind of like, no, this is shitty memes.
Right.
Granted, this movie is coming out in May. So it's coming out 2 months from now, May 24th. But still, man, I feel like... This was like Disney pushing the button real quick. Like, oh God, oh God, oh God. Like, we got to get something out quick for this so that people are still hyped.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But I feel like, okay, I guess it's either two sides of the coin. I feel like people who really loved Aladdin as kids would see this or would not. Depending on how you feel about live action adaptations and stuff like that. But I mean, personally, for me, this looks cool. Am I gonna go see it? Maybe.
So I wasn't at first, but this definitely
This one made me think, maybe I will.
That's the thing, and that's what Disney needed to do. They needed to pull me in the right direction, because as someone who was already on the fence, like, hey man, I still got my VHS tape.
Right, exactly.
I got my VHS tape.
That's how I feel too. It's like, if I'm gonna go watch Aladdin, I think I'm gonna go watch the original. Like
not only do I have my original VHS tape, and I'm pretty sure I have the second and third movie on VHS as well, But I'm also borrowing Kingdom Hearts 1 from you, Tristan. So I got Aladdin in two different realms. It's still the story of Aladdin, I'm pretty sure, the first one, right? Wasn't it, pretty much? If I remember correctly. So when I'm sitting here and I'm like, hey, I feel like I could get it in different ways. And all of a sudden, they're just like, but what if Blue Will Smith? And I was like, that actually is not a trump card. Like, if you thought that was like your... Like, that's like Yugi being like, I have to pull out the fifth piece of Exodia.
Reverse and Yugi, card open. You realize you can't activate that right now. Damn it.
No, I feel like it's just like, I will pick up the fifth piece of Exodia. And he picks up, like, Change of Heart. And he's like, this does not help at all. This has given me This has given me a change of heart. I think I'm going to lose. Like, so, yeah, I definitely feel more hyped now than I did before. And I want to hear what you guys have to say down below. Did you enjoy this trailer? Did you not enjoy this trailer? I definitely saw a lot more positive reception for this trailer. And again, that makes me happy because I don't want this movie to fail necessarily.
Right,
you know, like it has such a diverse cast, and I want that type of diversity to become so normal in Hollywood that we don't have to talk about it and be like, hey, it's a diverse cast. Like, no, I would like that to be the norm, but as of right now, it's not the norm because, I mean, heck, you even go back to the original. That's the only different. The one thing I'll say actually with the original Aladdin is that I don't believe anyone on the cast was actually Middle Eastern.
Right.
You know, so I think that this is definitely a great improvement. Some people were saying having some issues with the types of outfits they were wearing. They were saying that it seems more Indian inspired and not so much Middle Eastern. I can't comment on that. Tristan can't comment on that. Patchy's asleep. I mean, if she was awake, she actually took a class at NYU about that. But sadly, Patchy, is asleep right now. So, yeah,
Patchy could not be reached for comment.
Patchy could not be reached for comment. Patchy, of course, being Tristan's cat. So, but yeah, all I'll say is this much. I want to hear what you guys have to say down below. That's what I'll say. All I'll say is it looks good. It actually looks good, and that's a bit different than what we've been seeing thus far. So again, tell me what you guys think down below.